Hi and welcome to this week's Start to Finish Sunday video. Today I thought it would be fun to take a break from playing with the retiring products and kind of give you a sneak peek of some of the new products from the catalog for 2013, which will be available at the end of May. So I'm going to make a pretty clean and simple card today and using a couple of new products. I'm using a stamp set called Mosaic Madness, which has a whole suite around it. It has coordinating designer paper, and it's really fun, a lot of fun stuff. And I'm also going to be using the embossing folder that goes with this. I hope you can kind of see that. I'll give you a closer look. And I'm also using some of the new colors. You can see here my card base is the new gray color. It's called Smoky Slate. It's a light gray, so beautiful. It has almost like a little bit of a lavender undertone to it. It's really pretty. And then we're using Crisp Cantaloupe. Here's my Smoky Slate ink, and Pistachio Pudding, and these are both two of the new in colors for the next 2 years. And also I'm going to be using Soft Sky, and that is one of the returning previous in colors that they're bringing back with the whole color refresh. So here's a closer look at the Mosaic Madness embossing folder. It's really pretty and it coordinates with the stamp set beautifully. So I went ahead and did some prep work just because of the things that I'm allowed to show you and the things that I'm not allowed to show you before the catalog. So I have my Whisper White layer and I already embossed that with the embossing folder. And like I said, my card base is this beautiful Smoky Slate. It's a really nice dove gray. And then I also cut a couple of pieces that are going to be layered. This is where we're going to do our stamping, and these are going to be layered onto the card, kind of just like that. Super, super simple card, but I just wanted to let the colors show because they're really, really beautiful colors. So I've got my 3 ink pads open. Again, this is the Soft Sky, Pistachio Pudding, and Crisp Cantaloupe, and my little piece of Whisper White that I'm going to do my stamping on. And I do want to use my Stamp-A-Majig. I want to make sure I got perfect alignment. I'm a little bit OCD about stuff like that. And I'm going to be stamping a repeating sort of pattern on the bottom left-hand corner of this piece of cardstock. So I want to make sure that I'm getting my little medallions all lined up really well. I'm starting with the Crisp Cantaloupe. So I'll just get that stamped on my imaging sheet here, and now I can go ahead and start stamping onto my cardstock. I'm going to use some removable adhesive. Pretty much whenever I'm using my Stamp-A-Majig, I like to make sure that the cardstock that I'm stamping on is adhered to my work surface. I find that it's very helpful. And I'm just going to start kind of arbitrarily here, and I hope this will work. And I'm just going to line these up in sort of a diagonal pattern moving down my cardstock. So I cleaned off my stamp so I can switch colors, and I basically just nestled my Stamp-A-Majig image into this one right here. So I'm just going to continue that pattern, and I'm going to use the Soft Sky ink now. And I'll just continue to line up, you can see how the Stamp-A-Majig, while it takes a little bit of extra time, it is really helpful in stamping this pattern to make sure that all of the medallion images are lined up just perfectly. Okay, so I was stamping off the edge and onto my mat a lot, and I didn't want it to smudge my piece that I'm stamping on here. So I just put a piece of scratch paper underneath. And now I can clean my stamp and move on to the next color, which is the pistachio pudding. Find a good starting place again. And I was going to only do half of this, but I think actually now I'm going to fill in the whole, I'm going to keep repeating the pattern and fill in the whole piece of cardstock here. Okay, I want to share one quick tip with you for when you're stamping with a symmetrical image, you know, like this one, where the image itself is symmetrical, but the way you put it on your block means it's not going to stamp the same from any angle. So and I actually was stamping my cardstock and I had to throw it away and start over because I messed up a couple times. So you can see here I put, just with a Sharpie, a little dot in the corner of my block. And I know that when I stamp that onto my imaging sheet, that is the corner that goes in the Stamp-A-Majig tool. So that then I can be certain while I'm stamping my repeating pattern, I always put that dot into the Stamp-A-Majig, the T-square tool, and I know that my image will always be facing the same direction and my pattern will work out. So I want to go ahead and start putting my card together. I'm just going to layer all my pieces. Okay, I'm just going to center and stick my embossed Whisper White piece to the front of my Smoky Slate card base. So we'll have a lot of white space on this card, but we added some great interest with that textured embossing folder. And then I'm going to take my stamped panel and I'm going to mat this on my other piece of Smoky Slate, and I cut that just 1/8 of an inch bigger, so it'll just leave us a nice small border, and that'll help to offset that panel from the Whisper White. That's going to go on just like that. Like I said, this is going to be a really, really super simple card. I'm going to use dimensionals to adhere our stamped piece. And I'll just center that on my card. Okay, now let's set this aside and work on our sentiment. I have a little strip of cardstock that measures 1 inch wide, and I'm using my Smoky Slate ink and the sentiment that says, "Hey there, friend," and this is from the Paper Pumpkin Welcome Kit. I highly recommend signing up for Paper Pumpkin, even if you just get the 1 month with the Welcome Kit. I can't stop using the 2 stamps that come in the kit. So I'm just going to get this lined up with my Stamp-A-Majig. Okay, so I trimmed this down a little bit, and I'm just going to cut a little banner end into it here. just like that. Okay, and then this is gonna go onto our card like that, but I want to create a little embellishment to kind of anchor it here. I'm going to do that with the Mosaic Madness stamp set with another stamp from this set, and I'm going to use the matching punch, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of clear embossing just to give our embellishment a little bit of extra little wow factor. I just have a little scrap of the pistachio pudding cardstock, and I'm going to be using this other stamp from the Mosaic Madness stamp. And I've got my clear embossing powder and my Versamark ink. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp with Versamark. And stamp this down. Okay. And sprinkle on some clear embossing powder. Tap off the excess. And it probably doesn't look like much to you, but then I'm just going to go ahead and set this with my heat tool. And you can see how that just creates a little bit of a darker texture and a really nice kind of glossy finish. And I'm going to take the coordinating punch and just line up my embossed image. I guess I should have given myself more cardstock to play with, but that's okay. Line up my embossed image inside the punch, and then you get this great little coordinating embellishment that we're going to put onto our card. And that is going to go just like right like that, but I do want to trim down my banner just a little bit. We'll just add some adhesive onto the back of this banner. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the gray mat. Okay. And then I'll just put dimensional on the back of my little punched medallion here. It's going to go right there. Okay, and then for just one finishing touch, I'm going to take one of these pearls, and I'll just use the tip of my scissors. Let's see. I think I want a medium-sized one. Okay, and I'll just place that into the center of my little embellishment. Okay, and there's my finished card. So thank you for joining me for this video. I hope that you enjoyed today's project. If you have any questions, please let me know, and until next time, happy stampin'. Bye-bye.